Back in the summer of 2022, the New York Rangers ended up trading away their backup goaltender at the time, Alexandar Georgiev, to the Colorado Avalanche, who he is now their starting goaltender. But the Rangers got 3 draft picks in return for the RFA at the time, Georgiev. It was a 2022 third-round pick and a 5th, as well as a 2023 third-round pick. All those were Colorado's draft picks as well. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at who these 3 prospects have become, and so far, it is definitely looking like a pretty good trade for the Rangers. And although Georgiev was a pretty decent backup goaltender for the Rangers for many seasons, I think it was a pretty great move for the team here, sending off a guy who was going to get paid a decent amount more as he was an RFA. So not like he was an unrestricted free agent where he could hit free agency and really get paid from any team. He was an RFA still, so there was a bit of a cap, obviously, that was going to really get paid, but he was definitely still going to make more than what he made the previous season. So Rangers moving on from made a whole lot of sense, especially considering the Rangers had their Vezina winning goaltender Igor Shesterkin have that amazing 2021-2022 season with Georgiev as the backup. It made a lot of sense there. Igor was clearly the guy going forward, so moving on from Georgiev for 3 draft picks was definitely a pretty good move by Chris Drury, and definitely one of the better moves he has made so far as the Rangers GM. And so far with the Colorado Avalanche, Georgiev has been pretty decent, but has definitely been a little inconsistent and had his times where he's been great and looking like one of the best goaltenders in the league at moments, but he's also had a lot of times where he has been quite bad. So pretty inconsistent, but overall he has been a pretty decent goaltender for the Avs. And now taking a look here at the 3 prospects the Rangers ended up using with those draft picks that they got in this trade. The first one was a 2022 third-round pick, the 97th overall pick in that draft from the Colorado Avalanche. It ended up becoming Bryce McConnell-Barker, who is right now one of the Rangers' overall top prospects. He is arguably the top center prospect on the Rangers right now. Him or Noah Lab, I would say, are the clear top 2 centers, and he's a pretty great all-around prospect. A very good kind of two-way game, really good defensively, has a pretty good offensive game as well, but is more known for his overall kind of defensive play, but a very good defensive center there, really good shutdown guy, good penalty killer, great on the faceoffs, and just an all-around very talented center. He's had a pretty good playoff run with the Sioux Greyhounds in the OHL. Unfortunately, they lost in round 2 to the Saginaw Spirit, but he ended up having a great run there, having 11 games played in the playoffs in the OHL, 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 total points. He was pretty phenomenal there. He's a very fantastic all-around center and is definitely looking like one of the better prospects in the Rangers system. And also in the regular season, he ended up having 52 games played, 22 goals, 29 assists for 51 total points. A bit of a down year from last season where he ended up having 68 games played, 30 goals, 47 assists for 77 total points. So a bit of a down year, but his team was overall much better this year, and he was definitely a massive part in why they had a decent amount of success in the playoffs. And he also was the captain for this year and last year, so a very talented guy, good leader, great all-around center prospect. He's definitely looking like a very good draft pick by the Rangers. And next up here, we have Maxim Barbashev, who was taken with the 5th round pick in the 2022 NHL draft, number 161 overall. He is brother of NHLer Ivan Barbashev, who, won a cup with the Golden Knights there, a very good player in the NHL. And Maxim seems like he's going to be potentially an all-right kind of 4th-line kind of guy, plays a pretty physical game, isn't an all-around great player, can definitely, use some time developing his overall kind of defensive play, but this is a guy with a little bit of offensive talent, nothing too crazy there. Probably projects, like I said, more of as a kind of 4th-line guy if he ends up making it at the NHL level. This season with the Shawinigan Cataracts, but he started things off, had 15 games played, 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 total points in the QMJHL, and then got moved over to the Rimouski Oceanic, where Lafreniere played, and he ended up having 44 games played there, 12 goals, 14 assists for 26 total points, and in the playoffs with the Oceanic, he ended up having 5 games played, 2 assists. Definitely not an amazing prospect, but could one day potentially be an all-right kind of 4th-line guy. He plays a very physical game, hits a lot, battles in corners, does all the dirty work and stuff like that, but the offensive talent is not amazing, and the overall defensive play isn't the best either, so he'll really have to work on that overall kind of two-way game if he wants to make it at the NHL level, but he could potentially do that one day. And the last pick the Rangers got in this trade was a 2023 third-round pick from the Colorado Avalanche, which was the 91st overall pick in that draft. And they used that pick alongside a 2024 7th-rounder to move up 1 spot to pick number 90 with the Pittsburgh Penguins in that trade. And they ended up drafting Drew Fortescue, who's right now looking like a very good pick there by the Rangers in the late 3rd round. And yes, it's not an exact kind of part of this deal, but it pretty much is. I mean, a 7th-rounder to move up 1 spot, pretty much the same thing there. So I would kind of consider Drew Fortescue to be a part of this trade here, and I think it was a great overall trade, but Drew is looking like a very good draft pick by the Rangers as well, looking like a bit of a steal for a third rounder. And Drew was a massive reason in why this Boston College team was so dominant. They went all the way to the Frozen Four finals and ended up losing in the national championship game there, unfortunately, to Denver 2-0, but he was still a big reason in why they were so good. He was teammate of, Rangers' top prospect right now, Gabe Perreault. They had a phenomenal season there, and Drew was a huge part in that. He spent a lot of the time on that top D pair there, and was also a pretty big factor in Team USA winning the U20 World Junior Championships, getting gold there, and he ended up putting up some pretty good all-around numbers as well. With Boston College this season, ended up having 40 games played, 4 goals, 4 assists for 8 total points. Not too bad at all. Was also a +13. And then at the World Juniors, ended up having 7 games played, 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 total points, and was a +6. He is an all-around very talented player. And Drew is definitely more known for his overall kind of really good defensive play, being a really good defensive defenseman, very reliable in his own zone, just being an all-around kind of very smart defensive player. But I do think there is a lot more to his offensive game than what some people seem to think. I mean, it's not going to be some Adam Fox out there, but I think he showed a lot offensively at the college level as well as at the World Juniors. We really got to watch him a ton. He was looking fantastic offensively, I thought, and he really making a lot of good outlet passes and stuff like that, but he's got a pretty good shot there, has a decent vision as well. I definitely think could one day be a very solid two-way defenseman at the NHL level, maybe being a second D pair kind of guy. Being a 6'2", left-handed guy, he's got good size. He definitely could one day be a very solid NHL defenseman while being a very good defensive guy as well. Anyways, though, I do think this overall trade was very good for the Rangers, getting 3 pretty solid prospects, but especially Bryce McConnell-Barker and Drew Fortescue. They're both looking like quite good steals, especially for third-round picks. Anyways, though, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. Don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on this video, and also don't forget to subscribe for daily New York Rangers content.